Bhan, who's joining us with P Chidambaram. Shiri.
Well, thanks very much. Yes, joining us now is the former Finance Minister, Mr. P Chidambaram, to comment on the annual report released by the Reserve Bank, which finally puts end to speculation on how much of the currency returned to the banking system post-demonetisation, 99.3% returning to the banking system. Mr. Chidambaram, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18. As I said, the debate now ends on that number, which has been made clear by the Reserve Bank of India. But if I could present to you the government's argument, this is Finance Minister Arun Jaitley's comments from June of this year, saying that demonetisation led to a lot of people in possession of undeclared cash depositing the same in the banking system. The source of the money was now questioned. Almost 18 lakh people were identified who've made deposits disproportionate in their returned incomes. The use of technology has helped the tax department significantly, going on to say that this has added to the direct tax filers going up. That's the government's point of view on how we should view the exercise of demonetisation, irrespective of how much money has returned.
The government shifts its goalposts month to month, sometimes even week to week. Why did they tell the Supreme Court that they expect that 3 to 4 lakh crore rupees will not return to the Reserve Bank of India? They will be demonetized, and that's a windfall gain to the RBI, which will be transferred to the Government of India. Did they make that statement or not? The government should answer, yes, we made the statement, or no, we did not make the statement. Bluff and bluster will not wish away that statement they made. As regards money returned to the Reserve Bank of India, who is to decide whether it's black or white until a final decision is taken? It's obvious that people have laundered their black money, and the banking system had no way to reject it as long as someone stood in a queue and deposited the money in a bank. And that was sent to the Reserve Bank of India, which has now counted it and finally reported that practically every rupee has come back, 99.3%. Now, whether it's black money or white money is a long process. No minister can pronounce all that money is black, just as no one can pronounce all that money is accounted for in white. Each case has to be adjudicated. It will be subject to appeal, a further appeal, writ petitions, appeals, and until it's finally adjudicated, and when it is finally adjudicated, we'll know the result. At the moment, the truth is that 99.3% has returned to the Reserve Bank of India, contrary to the declarations of the government. And government must say, mea culpa.
Oh. On the issue, sir, of the sustained increase in direct filers, because that is the argument again that the government is giving, that demonetisation along with GST has had a significant impact on governance as well as the government policies on enhancing direct tax collections. Do you believe that if this were to be acknowledged today by the government as a stated objective, then perhaps demonetisation has made some difference?
No, the same result could have been achieved by less disruptive, less painful, less destructive means. Go back and look at the secular increase in the number of filers year after year after year. When we sharply reduced income tax rates in 1997, for the next few years, the number of filers increased. Again, when we rationalized some income tax provisions, the number of filers rose. So the same result could have been achieved by automation, by digitization, by third-party reporting, a number of other ways in which the same result could have been achieved without destroying lives of thousands and thousands of people and without destroying thousands and thousands of small and medium enterprises. And look at the price the country has paid. A 1.3% decline in GDP means 2.25 lakh crore a year, 2,25,000 lakh crore a year. Now, who's going to bear accountability or responsibility for that? The same result could have been achieved by avoiding demonetization and by implementing GST in a better and more efficient manner.
Mr. Chidambaram, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance is looking at the issue of demonetisation. The Standing Committee of Finance is headed by your party colleague, Mr. Veerappa Moily. I spoke with him yesterday. I also spoke with other members of the committee, including Mr. Dinesh Trivedi. And Mr. Trivedi was of the view that the Parliamentary Committee on Finance must put forward its report. It must finalise its report, and the deliberations have been going on endlessly. Mr. Moily's view is that some matters require further deliberation. So the fate of this parliamentary committee report on the impact of demonetisation itself is uncertain. Your thoughts on that?
Of course, the report must be published and placed before Parliament. I'm not a member of the committee, so I don't know what the current state of affairs is. But as a matter of principle, when a parliamentary committee deliberates on a subject matter, it must place its report before Parliament.
But do you believe that Mr. Moily says that all the reports under his chairmanship so far have been unanimous, and it seems very clear that the 17 BJP members on the Parliamentary Standing Committee of Finance do not perhaps agree with the committee's recommendations as well as the committee's findings, and hence there may have been the possibility of dissenting reports and dissenting notes. Do you believe that that in the quest for unanimity we might see this report not see the light of day?
I don't know. I can't comment on a basis of speculative stories. I can't. It's a parliamentary committee, and if there are dissents, let there be dissenting notes. What's wrong? Dissent is the very lifeline of debate. So let there be as many dissents as necessary, but let a report come to Parliament.
Okay, let me end then by asking you, Mr. Chidambaram, about the state of the economy according to the Reserve Bank's annual report as well, of course, saying that India is not immune to bouts of financial market turmoil. What we are seeing today is a concern and a worry as far as the current account deficit is concerned. The rupee continues to depreciate, albeit in a calibrated and gradual fashion. Your thoughts on the CAD, the rupee, and the state of the economy?
Well, the state of the economy is a cause for worry. The RBI articulates the worry much later than many other economists have done. We are pretty certain that given the current trends, the government will not be able to meet the fiscal deficit target. The current account deficit will certainly cross 2 and maybe touch 2.5. The rupee will depreciate a little more, but whether that's good or bad is a different debate. And investment will continue to remain in the doldrums, and credit squeeze to small and medium units will continue. When all these 5 indicators that I've said, and many more that many economists have added, points to an economy that is being incompetently managed.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chidambaram, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. Thanks very much for your time. Appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18. That's the former finance minister saying that the demonetisation exercise was an exercise in futility and cost the Indian economy significantly, both in terms of growth and in terms of economic output. For now, it's back to you.
All right, thanks, Shireen, for joining us. So that's the word coming in from P Chidambaram, the former finance minister. With that, it's a wrap on Business Lunch, but Mid-Cap Radar is coming up next, so stay tuned for that.